What's up, guys? Welcome to Coffee and Friends podcast with your host, Juan Loves Coffee, where he sits down and talks to some of the people that have influenced him along the way, from friends, colleagues, coffee professionals, and everything in between, where he discusses various topics, some serious, funny, important movements in our community, and of course, coffee. Don't forget to follow and subscribe to Coffee and Friends. You can watch on YouTube or listen on your favorite podcast app.
Welcome, guys. Today I have a good friend of mine, which is Miss Rachel. How you doing, Miss Rachel?
Hello, Juan. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking your time and answering my call. And we're doing this now.
No problem. It's been a while.
It's been a while. Yeah, I do want to talk about like where you and I met. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do. So, me and Juan were both, for me, Juan is still employed, but me and Juan, before the pandemic, were both employed at Minotti's coffee shop. Well, stop. And Juan was employed a little bit after I was in September, correct?
Around there, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't even remember the actual date.
Right, me either. September or so of last year, Juan started out super quiet, and then he started getting out of his shell a little bit. Me being super outgoing and stuff, I would always like talk to him and dance and all that other stuff around the store.
Yeah. No, I mean, we had really good tunes around, You picked some of the good stuff. You play a lot of the stuff I personally like,
Yeah. The Weekend, and what else did we play? What was The Weekend, Selena?
Yep.
Those were the two. Oh,
Yeah.
112. 112 was good. 112 was good.
Oh yeah, we definitely had a good playlist going there. Would talk to me about a little bit about where you grew up and stuff.
So I am originally not from California. I am a transplant from Ohio. I grew up in a small city called Springfield. Most of you all may be aware of where Springfield is or what Springfield is through John Legend, because that is our most famous person that came out of that place. So Springfield, Ohio is in between Dayton and Columbus, like smack dab in between. And so it's a small city. I grew up there. And then after that, I went to college in Cincinnati, which the Bengals and the Reds, all that other stuff. So I went to the University of Cincinnati. And then after that, kind of still stayed in Ohio. And then I decided to make the big plunge out into LA in June of 2019. So I just celebrated my year anniversary here. So that's kind of cool.
What made that decision to move out here?
So I made the decision because I've always been attracted to big cities. I've always called myself a city girl, not like the city girls, like the period city girls, but an actual, like, I love the big city. I love like huge, being around everyone and a lot of people and just new experiences everywhere you turn. So I really wanted to do that. My dream was always to move to New York City, but I would say 2017 was the first time that I came out to the West Coast, LA, and I was like, "Ooh, I want to move here." It gives me New York, but then again, it gives me amazing weather. So if you can combine the two, it's just like, oh, give me that. So
plus, I gotta say, other than nice weather, we have nice people because.
Correct. You hear about LA, you think of like Hollywood and fakeness and everything, but me actually getting out and working in the coffee shop and everything exposed me to the realness of LA and how laid back and cool especially the natives are here.
Yeah.
You do have the entertainment side, but you also have the very, very nice laid back Californians and everything. But I am a YouTuber, so I did come out here pursuing, a career in entertainment. So I am out here doing that as well. So that
Nice.
is something that attracted me to the city as well, because this is like YouTube utopia out here.
Exactly.
So,
What
yeah.
is your YouTube channel called?
So my YouTube channel is called Rachel Angelica.
Yeah.
Insert promo here. Rachel Angelica. So I am a natural hair YouTuber. I just go over how to take care of naturally curly hair, how to protect it, how to style it, how to, take care of it and all that other stuff. So that is what I
Nice.
do.
So
That is
you
what I
have
do.
natural curly hair.
Correct. You see this
Right.
bush back here? Yes, yes, yes,
I mean,
yes.
how much of a challenge is it to take care of hair like that?
Oh my goodness. So right before I got on this call yesterday, my hair was in this huge afro. Like I look like Pam Grier, if anyone is aware who that is. Foxy Brown. So I look like that, like had the whole 70s afro thing going on. And so I literally right before I got on this call, I was like, ooh, I kind of need to do something with this, but I want it to be out of my face. So I had to like wet my hair down like completely, just like spraying it with the spray bottle and like
Yeah.
combing it back. It took like at least like 30 minutes to do
Amazing.
just to put it in this ponytail. So it's a lot.
Nice. Well, going back to Ohio, you say you went to high school, college, and stuff. Were you any part of any activities in school or?
Yes. So in high school, well, starting off, I did gymnastics for 7 years. My high school didn't have a competitive gymnastics team, so I gave that up once high school hit. So I did competitive gymnastics, like I said, for 7 years, and then I did track. I started out in like Pee-wee track, if that's what you call that, and ran all the way up until college. I also cheered in high school and did all that with my gymnastics background. And so I actually split my time in college between, I did 2 years on the track team, and then I did 2 years on the cheerleading squad. So I actually split my time in college between two sports, which I think was cool because, I mean, it shows how versatile I am. And it also was a cool experience getting to experience two varsity sports at two separate times in life.
Yeah.
So
Well, I mean,
pretty
those
cool.
two sports are very challenging. I mean, with cheerleading, you have to like be flexible and be able to jump
Right.
and this and that. And then running, I mean, man, that's so hard. I mean, what kind of running did you do?
So in track, I ran the 800, which is 2 laps around the track, which was, I never wanted to run the 800. I just happened to be good at it, and it was like a love hate relationship with that race, because it was just torturous. Every time that you had to run it, you were like, okay, I might throw up, I might pass out, or I may do both. But hey, I didn't die, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just. Ugh. Yeah, I can't say that I miss running track at all. I mean, it was a great experience when I was doing it, but as far as like now, I'm just like, y'all can keep that over there because I don't want to do it.
what about cheerleading? I mean, do you miss any of that stuff?
I do miss cheerleading just a little bit. I Cheerleading was fun, but you have to have a lot of trust in your partner. So I did co-ed cheerleading, which is the whole like what everyone sees. Like if you watch the Netflix series Cheer, them throwing the girls up into
Yeah.
the air, that's exactly what I was doing.
I actually enjoy watching all that. The competitions
Yes,
and stuff. Man, it's
yeah.
so thrilling and exciting, you know?
It's so cool looking, but it's super scary, like being the actual girl, like up in the air, because you have to trust your partner. And like, it's like, okay, I don't really know you, but I'm going to trust you to throw me up in the air and to catch me while I come down out of the air. And so it's like a really scary concept, but it's really, really cool when you're up there doing it, especially when you like see pictures or videos or something like that of you like actually like being thrown up into the air or just standing on somebody's hands like, hey, I was doing that. Hey.
Yeah.
So
Well, during your time in school and stuff, what was the ultimate goal as far as career goals were?
so in school, my ultimate goal was it changed throughout school.
As it does for everybody, you know?
it it changed multiple times. So when I first entered college, I wanted to be a sports physician. And then I took biology and could not pass biology. So I was like, this is probably not the career field for me. So then it moved from that to an administrator of a hospital, which I'm pretty good at, communicating and like talking to people in the business end of things. So I was like, okay, I could probably do that, whatever. And then I kind of just got disinterested in the classes. So I went to my advisor and I was like, hey, like, what is something that I can do that I can transfer into like my classes that I've already taken into another career field? And I looked into sport administration, which is um, like a mix between a business degree and, well, it's a business degree with a concentration in sports. So you're applying the business administration degree towards like a sport organization, if that makes sense. So I wanted to do that, love the classes and everything like that. It got to the practical part of it, and I was like, I don't really like this that much. So, I if you haven't been able to tell, I am pretty I'm not too, wow. I'm pretty indecisive. So I so after college I kind of just looked around for different kind of jobs and just took a job and everything like that. But I've always wanted to do YouTube, and I always known that I want to do something where I'm working for myself.
Yeah.
And so I started taking the YouTube thing a little bit more seriously in the past like year since I've been out here. But just there really wasn't a career goal necessarily in mind when I was in college. And
Do you think that your career choices are influenced by what your parents do for a living?
so father my father worked a lot of factory jobs. So he worked factory jobs like growing up, and then later in life he became a driver. So he got a CDL and he became a driver for like food, like when the milk comes. That's basically what my dad does. So he
Yeah.
drives those big like trucks and like drops off food and stuff for businesses and all that. My mom has always been um, a financial advisor for the government. So she works at an Air Force base back in Ohio, and she's always like done like accounting and all that other stuff. Which I mean, I like math, but it's I personally, I've worked a lot of office jobs, but office jobs just really aren't for me because I am a person who gets really, really bored with the mundane. So if I'm sitting in front of a computer all day, just like looking at a computer, just it's just not fun for me. Like
Yeah.
I start hating life at some point in time. So
No,
I wouldn't say I wouldn't say that um my parents' jobs kind of steered me into a way of a job, but their mindsets more or less steered me into a way of like making a career choice because what I'm doing, my parents still don't honestly get it. Like
Yeah.
they're like, YouTube, how are you going to make YouTube? My mom literally said to me, she was like, we were talking on the phone one day, and she was like, "Oh, so Rachel, I was watching Dr. Phil, and Dr. Phil said that you can't make any money off of YouTube." And I'm just like, "Mom."
Oh, she's wrong. I mean, Dr. Phil is wrong.
Right. I'm just like, "Mom, so look, this is how you get money." And I basically broke it down to her, and she was like, "Oh, okay," because she's a numbers person. So she understood at that point, but it was just like, okay, like they still don't quite understand exactly this like creative path that I'm
Yeah.
going down. But they pretty much knew since I was little that I would more or less be the one that'll go on the creative pathway
Yeah.
as far as career.
But I got to say, I mean, it's part of entertaining people also, right? And I think part of you being a cheerleader and stuff, I mean, you're comfortable with being in that presence of all
Correct.
the eyes looking at you and stuff. Because
Right.
being a YouTuber or even just recording yourself, or when I first put the mic in front of my face, like I just couldn't do it. It was very challenging. So
Right.
to be able to accomplish that, and I think for a lot of generations that don't understand exactly what this is, it's because there's not a lot of gains at the beginning.
Right.
So like
Right. Right.
you need to grow a bigger channel. You need to have a certain amount of followers to even see anything in return,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
very very difficult. Because
It is.
I believe at this now in 2020, I believe we're a little late into the game. So like there's people that have a big head start. So
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, yes. Yes, and I shoot myself in the foot every time I think about it because I really, really wanted to start my YouTube channel fresh out of college. Now, looking back on it, and I would say that if I did start my channel, I don't know exactly if I would be doing the things that I'm doing now because I really didn't have an idea of exactly what I wanted to do for my channel back then. And so I was thinking more of like going on there and telling stories and doing a whole bunch of stuff, not really going the whole hair journey and everything. So looking back on it, it kind of everything just kind of falls in place
yeah,
the way that your life is supposed to go. But I shoot myself in the foot every time I think about it because I'm like, oh, you could have been so much farther along. You could
I
you could
know.
possibly have like thousands and thousands and thousands of subscribers now, but now you're just now starting. And it takes a long time
It does.
to, like you said, it takes a long time to get like the subscribers, the actual fans that'll actually watch all of your content that are looking forward to you putting out more content because you have to gain their trust basically. And
Exactly.
so once a person trusts you and they want to be involved in your life, they'll start watching and start looking forward to videos and your podcast and other things like that and everything. So they'll start wanting to view and subscribe and everything, but you just have to get over that hump. And it's just like there's no specific day. Like something you do, it could go viral and you could hit
That's true.
really, really quickly, or it may take years because I've had my channel now for 2 years. And, I'm just now like gaining traction and getting like the views and the subscribers and all that other stuff. But it took a long time and I'm
Yeah,
still
but
not like,
no, yeah, I mean, but the other thing that I feel like a lot of people don't understand, and as uh, we as creators, like we sort of need to invest the time and like see it as a job as well because it does take a lot of
correct.
work. Yeah, and
It takes a lot.
yeah, and like you said, the process as well changes. Like from when you started. I mean, the quality of video maybe, or you the way you were verbally communicating wasn't the same. And as time
Correct.
went by, you felt a little more comfortable, and now you're in a position where it comes out more naturally, right? So,
Correct.
and just alone on my side, from what I see as a viewer for what you have
Hmm.
created, when I found out that you have a YouTube channel, I did go and
Right.
watch a couple of your videos. And what's crazy is the change that happened during this pandemic, where either you had more time or
Right.
or something different, but it's just like you invested a lot more time in this product that I can see it, so like I
This
can
is
see
true.
the little things, from like having that subscribe button, or having that bell icon, from having your all that stuff, like your end screen and all that little those little details that I feel like sometimes as creators as well, we aim for perfection, and
Right.
we feel like, oh, I'm not going to put it up there because it's not perfect, because we're
Right.
comparing ourselves to what everybody else is doing. But what we don't
Right.
understand is that these creators started just like we did.
Right. And it may have took them years, but now we're looking at them when they have a million subscribers, or when they have like all of this like fan base and everything. It may have took them years. We don't even know how long that they've been actually making videos, but we arrive at the success point and we're like, wow, I'll never get like that, when you don't really even know like their story on
Yeah.
how to get like that. And also another thing that I've been realizing, which I thank you for noticing those little quirks that I've been doing. It's great that you did notice that. But consistency your with your content and everything, it definitely helps. And being able to put out the content and be consistent with the content without having the large crowds of applause and everything like that, because you have to have the willpower to put out your content and to continue to put out content even when your video gets 50 views on
Yeah.
it, which you're like, oh, this video I took 8 hours to edit it, and this is gonna be the one, this is gonna be the one. Burp, it gets 50 views, and you're like, you have to like have that mindset to get back in there and do another video, because you never know, like I said, which one is going to hit. And I think that's what took me a long time to realize, is that you have to continue to keep pushing your content, no matter how who views it, or no matter how many views it gets. So but it's hard. It's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
hard.
Well, you're a barista, you're an influencer. Tell me, do you happen to have any secret talents?
uh so I do enjoy doing makeup. That is my creative side. If you go on my YouTube, not on my YouTube channel, but on my Instagram, underscore Rachel Angelica 2 A's. Anyways, but if you go on my Instagram, I do like drawing on my face, and I do like doing different kinds of like crazy like makeup looks and all that. So I would say that that is like a hidden talent that you wouldn't be able to just kind of tell that I do if you just saw me at the coffee shop or something, because at the coffee shop, for a while I was putting on makeup, but then again, I would just come in there like, hey, what's up, y'all? I ain't got no makeup today because I was sleepy and I just wanted to get to work. So yeah, but I do like doing like intricate makeup looks and all that. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I have any other like secret things that I do.
Well, what
Really?
about some of the most influential people in your life? Name at least three most influential people in your life.
Ooh. So the most influential people in my life, I would say, is definitely my mother. My mother is my best friend. We are BFFs. I talk to her every single day. Matter of fact, I need to call her after we're done with this. But my mom is one of the most influential people in my life. She definitely helped me know what a strong woman looks like. So I would say that she is one of the most influential people in my life. The second one would be, I would say that another influential person in my life would be my great grandmother who passed like 2 years ago. She helped raise me when my mom, because like I said, my mom worked for the government and it was out of town at the moment when, I was growing up. It was in Dayton where we lived in Springfield. So a lot of times my great grandma would help out raising me and my sister, and we would go over there because she lived 2 doors down from us, which was amazing because we could be like, hey mom, we're going over grandma, see ya, and go and get a home cooked meal and everything when my mom was too tired to cook and everything. So she was definitely a very, very influential woman in my life. And then I would say three. Who do I look up most to? I would say three is Rihanna. She is just a bad. Can I
You
cuss
know,
on here?
you
She
sure
is just
can.
she is just a bad bitch, okay? She is like everything. Like she is a proud black woman. She is a philanthropist. She is a boss. Like she has the music, she has the clothing, she has the lingerie, she has the skin, the makeup, and now she's coming out with a skincare line. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, wow, this is like everything and more. And she shows you that you can do multiple things because, a lot of times people discourage you from going like multiple lengths in what you want to do. And because, you need to focus on one thing in order to be successful. But she shows us that, you can do multiple things and be successful in multiple things. And, it's going to work out. You can make yourself a mogul. And she's so beautiful. She's just
Oh
all
yeah.
around,
I
just
definitely
amazing.
love me a Barbados girl, But yeah, no, one thing that you mentioned with the cosmetic line that she came up with, the fact that she was catering more to like people of color versus,
Yes,
all the other
yes.
makeup lines that have those lighter shades that are not cool.
The 45 foundation shade. She was the first to come out with that. She
Yeah,
just
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, since we're on this trend of like influential people, tell me if you were to go and have dinner with top three YouTubers, who would those be?
Oh, definitely Raven Elise. I've been watching her since like I started watching YouTube, which was like back in college. So it's been like years and years and years and years. So Raven Elise, I would go out with Alyssa Ashley because she is here in LA and she's pretty. She just looks like she's just really cool, really down to earth, not like one of those like snobby YouTubers. She just looks like a really, really cool girl. She does bomb makeup, and now she's like on this curly hair journey, so we can like change tips and all that. And let me see another one.
So
Another
many,
one.
so many YouTubers. It's really hard to
I
say.
know. You
Yeah.
put me on the spot with this.
No, no, no
As
worries.
as with a lot of questions, but let me see. What's another one that I
Well,
watch? I
think about
watch a lot.
think about what's on the menu and think about what you guys are gonna order. What is like your go-to meals?
Oh. Well, I know Raven is gluten sensitive and she's also dairy sensitive, so we would have to like kind of like pick a place where it wouldn't be too hard for her to find something to eat.
It wouldn't be hard
Um
here in LA. There's definitely a
right,
place.
right, right, exactly. There's a lot of places out here. Uh, let me see.
Well, what are your personal meal choices?
My personal meal choices, I love me some pizza.
Pizza is
Pizza is
delicious.
amazing.
Man, it's my go-to.
Amazing. Amazing. Just my favorite food. It's so good. And there's this place at home that I have to go to as soon as I touch down. It's called Donato's Pizza, which is not like this gourmet pizza or anything. It's definitely a chain back at home, but I have to go there because there's not a Donato's out here whatsoever. And so, oh,
Nice.
it's making my stomach rumble just thinking about it. But it's so good. It's so good. It's so good. But
What
yeah,
what
so
about what about the one meal you wish didn't exist?
one meal I wish didn't exist. I don't know because I'm pretty adventurous with food.
Are
And
you?
so I try just about everything
That's good.
once.
I actually like that. Yeah,
Yeah,
the idea of
yeah.
the only thing I do not stand for is spicy food. You know,
Why?
a lot of people will say, "Well, aren't you Mexican?" Well, yeah, but that doesn't
Right.
but that doesn't mean I eat spicy. Like I hate it when it's too
but
spicy.
isn't like the core like essence of Mexican food like spice?
Yeah,
Isn't
but I
that
mean,
like
but there's like spice for seasoning, and then there's people that take it to a whole nother level when they like make it
oh yeah,
extremely
no, no,
hot.
no.
See, I'm not
Yeah, no.
about that, you know. So
No, no,
yeah,
no, no, no. Can you eat the Teddy's Red Tacos salsa on the side? Or is that too
uh,
hot for you?
I actually had it once with the sauce on top, and it was a bit spicy. It was a bit
It
spicy.
was a bit it
Yeah,
that is it's super spicy,
yeah.
especially when you put a lot on it. I remember the first time me eating one of the quesadillas, I was like piling that onto there and,
Yeah,
and I was just like, oh, okay, never mind. So yeah, I
nice.
get it. I love spicy food though. It's really good. But I do notice the older that I get, and this sounds so horrible, but the older that I get, the more and more intolerant of the spicy food.
Yeah,
And I can't
yeah.
take it.
And
So I'm like, oh,
I think I'm at that stage too, where it's like, yep, oh, I'm a lot older now. Cannot do this. Yeah,
right. Am I getting old? What's going
you
on?
are getting old. That's crazy.
No.
Oh, it's crazy. Well, what about at the restaurant you guys are having there? What are you guys gonna be drinking? What's like your cocktail go to?
Ooh. I personally like margaritas. I like tequila, so whatever has tequila in it and is citrusy is pretty much good with me. Um, I've been trying to lay off the alcohol though, especially during the pandemic because it's real easy. It's real easy to just, sit in the house and sip and then gain a lot of weight from you not going anywhere and doing anything. So I've been trying to lay off. But my drink of choice lately has been coconut water. Coconut water has been really, really good.
Nice.
Really, really good. Coconut water, y'all. Coconut water.
There is an acquired taste for that because I love the coconut water fresh out of the coconut, but for some reason
You,
I had it in a bottle here, and I don't know, there was something slightly different, you
you
know.
just didn't like it?
And from the cans,
Well,
yeah.
see, I never had coconut water fresh out of the coconut, which I know that that'll change my life. And I don't exactly know if I want to even do that to myself because now I'm like, okay, I really, really enjoy coconut water, like in a box or in a can or something. If I drink the coconut water out of the coconut, am I even going to be able to enjoy this coconut water in a can? But
Oh man,
it's been so good.
yeah.
So good.
What
I like
about
it better in a box though.
in a box? Yeah, I think I've seen those. Sort of
Yeah.
nice. What about your coffee drink choice?
Ooh, coffee drink choices. So Ooh, it depends on the day because sometimes I want like something with some vanilla in it or some maple in it, a milk base. And then sometimes, I just want that regular, just brew, black brew, or I do an Americano with a little bit of simple in it, not too much though. You have to like, and then pour the Americano in there. But I do a short Americano because I like the coffee taste.
Yeah. When you're not at work, where do you usually get your coffee?
Ooh, that's a good one. I actually have, and this sounds so horrible. Please forgive me because this is not good. But since the pandemic started, I have not had a lot of coffee at all because when I moved out here, I didn't have I wasn't living in my own apartment per se. I was kind of like staying with a friend. So I didn't get anything. And then the pandemic, I was working at Minotti's. So every day I would have coffee. So I was like, do I really need to get something in order to get coffee at home? No, I'm working at Minotti's. I can get coffee whenever I want to. So, and then the shutdown happened, and I was like, ooh, I can't get coffee no more. That first month was really, really hard too.
Yeah.
And then I was like, after that, I kind of detoxed off of it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I can go without for a little bit. But Brandon was like, hey, get this AeroPress. And I was like, okay. And then, all this stuff has been going on with, I don't know if any of your viewers can relate with me. Freaking California and their unemployment sucks. And so, yeah,
It's hard. Yeah.
we just haven't spent money on the AeroPress yet. Too
Unnecessary
many
things right
bills.
now.
Right. Too many bills, too many things going on. So I just kind of been, not doing the coffee lately. There are some good places. I haven't ventured out to Minotti's yet, but I do plan on coming in pretty soon. But there are a few places downtown that I have ventured off to and up the street from me. So there's I don't know if they're strictly Asian, but I think there's like an Asian coffee shop that's like right up the street from me. And then there's a coffee shop called Mugshot that's kind of like farther up from me. And I go there. And then I've been going to the Asian coffee shop a lot, which they have really, really good coffee. And then there's also a Black owned coffee shop that's downtown on, oh, where is that at? But, anyways, I don't know where it's at. Oh, it's on Hope. It's on Hope. So it's on Hope and 11th, I think. So it's down there and it's a Black owned Harry Potter themed coffee shop. Isn't that cool?
Nice. That is really cool.
Yeah. So I actually had a coffee from there. I want to venture out there again, but just haven't gotten around to it. So yeah.
Well, how did you make the decision to work in coffee?
So so funny story on that. So I was out here in June. And I was without a job for about a month and a half. And my mom was starting to get worried about me not having a job, which in retrospect, I I haven't had a job during the pandemic for longer than I didn't have a job then. But anyways, that's beyond my control with that whole thing. But so my mom got in touch with my uncle who was like, "Hey, I have a cousin out there who's he works at a coffee shop. I could see what he could do, Brandon." So I actually met up with Brandon and he was like, "Yeah, I can see like what like do you drink coffee? Do you do this? Do you do that? And I'm like, yeah, I like in Ohio, specialty coffee really isn't a thing. It's just now becoming like a thing there. And so, going out to a coffee shop and everything was kind of like a new thing for them. But I was starting, before I left Ohio, I was starting to get more and more involved in my YouTube channel. So I would go there to kind of edit and do a whole bunch of stuff, just sit at a coffee shop because it's quiet, it's a nice atmosphere, and you can get coffee and stay up and all that other stuff. So I would go there just to like get away from my home space and edit and everything. So I told him that, and he was like, oh, okay, like yeah, I can see if I can get you on. So yeah, Manati's happened to be hiring, and I went in there, crushed the interview, I think, and ended up getting a job. But I, I had no experience in like pouring coffee and dialing coffee and all that other stuff. So that was a whole new world for me. And I thought that it was cool because I was like, wow, I didn't know all of this stuff went into this. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's like a whole new world of just information and stuff that you really didn't know was going on.
Yeah, well, just like anything in life too. I mean, like you said, you didn't know much about it, but the more you kept doing it and all the repetition you had, by the end of your last day at work, I mean, I saw you pouring beautiful hearts,
Right.
which
I did work last with you.
yeah. I
My
mean,
last day was with you. That was funny. But yeah,
so,
so
so yeah, progression. You've had a lot of progression, you know,
progression. Progression is good.
repetition and progression you had. Which is good. So
Consistency.
consistency, yeah. Well, you're saying that someone connected you with Brandon. So that means you didn't know Brandon or you didn't know who or where Brandon was.
No, I had no idea. So me, Brandon and I are technically not blood cousins. So we are cousins technically. Technically we're not cousins, to be honest, um but he is my uncle's cousin on my uncle's father's side. So my uncle and my mother do not have the same father. So he is a cousin through my uncle, which that's kind of like, if
Complicated.
you really sum it up, right, if you really sum it up, not really my cousin, but he's my cousin.
He's a
So
brother.
I
He's a
really,
brother.
right. I really didn't know of him that much because he's lived out in California for, I would say, like 12 to 15 years. So he's been out here. So I really wouldn't know of him, and we didn't really grow up together because he is, I think, like 5 years. No, he's like four years older than I am. So we really didn't grow up together that much. And so I didn't know who he was. And my uncle happened to get me in touch with him, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, the family out here, cool. Like, all right. So yeah.
Well, every time we're on shift and we get to pour espresso shots and latte art, we always get the opportunity to put on our vinyls and our choice of music. But will you be able to explore a little bit more about your favorite artist or favorite music genre?
Oh, so I love R&B. So right now I am listening to a California native, Kaylani, and her new album that came out like a month ago or something. So I'm listening to her album, but my favorite artist, which some people may frown upon because a lot of people don't like him for what he does and everything, but his music is bomb. Chris Brown is one of my favorites. I can listen to him all day long and not get tired of it. His music is great. His life choices, not the best, but he's growing. He is maturing and everything. But his music is amazing to me. I also like me a good Trey Songz album. The Weekend, love me some Starboy, you know
Oh
that
yeah.
from the shop. But yes, love me The Weekend. I actually saw The Weekend for the first time in concert in 2016, and I've like been obsessed with him ever since. Like he's a great, great, great performer. So anything that could like sing to me and it just
Puts you in the mood,
my
huh?
favorite. It's my favorite.
Nice. Nice, nice. Well, going back to you being an influencer on YouTube, tell me, what is one of the things that a lot of people misunderstand about being a YouTuber?
A lot of things people misunderstand about being a YouTuber is how much work goes into it. Because I think people just think that, oh, you just sit around and make videos, but you don't consider the amount of time that it goes into actually even getting in front of that camera and just talking in front of the camera and getting your mind together to like present a concise point in the amount of time that you know that your viewers are actually going to watch that video, and then not even talking about the editing that goes into all of that, which you have to cut up everything, you have to dissect everything, and then not even talking about the technology that goes into it because you have to get all these editors and lights and cameras and all of that, and then find out what works good, what doesn't work good, what your niche is, and all that. So much work goes into it. And I think now in 2020, with the whole pandemic thing going on, it's very, very, it's easier to spend time on that. But when you're trying to work to live, get in order to pay bills, in order to do this, and then come home and have to film a video, edit a video after working 8 hours, you don't feel like it.
Yeah.
It's just like you have to get into that mindset that you come home and you work for yourself after working for somebody else for 8+ hours and you're just like drained mentally. And then you come home and you have to edit or film or do something. And it's just like, oh, but you have to keep pushing.
Yeah,
So
I was kind of afraid
just
of
a
that
lot.
because when I originally had the idea to start a podcast, it was because obviously we had a lot of time in our hands. And I was like,
Right.
I can do this, I can do that. I'm gonna learn how to edit. I'm gonna learn how to use these apps or everything I need. And then when I was thinking about going back to work, I was like, will I ever have time to do all this? You know?
Correct.
Yeah, but
Correct. Because on your off days, do you really think about like, wow, do I want to sit here and edit this video or do I want to relax and clear my head? That was my struggle, like when I worked, because it was like your off days are dedicated to now what you want to do, which some off days, you're like motivated and you want to do that and you want to push forward on working for yourself and getting your platform together. But some off days, you're just like, this.
yeah.
I want to just sit here and do nothing. Okay, sit here and do absolutely nothing.
Exactly. But how about touching a little more sensitive topic here, since you're an influencer and I'm pretty sure you follow a lot of people on YouTube, Instagram, and stuff, all those social media platforms. With all the protests that are happening,
Mm.
and you being a woman of color, how do you feel, or what are some of the changes you want to see?
Ooh, this is definitely a good subject. I definitely feel very strongly about what is going on. I think that there is a lot of changes that need to go on, and I'm not honestly sure of, what steps need to be taken in order to fix everything because there's just like years and years and years and years and years of just wrongs done to people of color, not just, people of color, just Black people, Native Americans, Mexican Americans, any other minority Americans that are really around here. Just tons and tons and tons of like history that was glorified and just taught to us that you just kind of look back on now and you're just like, wow, we really learned about that in school. And it really wasn't seen as a horrific, horrible thing that was done in history. And you don't learn about Mexican history. You don't learn about Black history hardly. You definitely don't learn about Native American history. So it's
Yeah.
just like, it's just crazy because a lot of things are taught. And so if you don't really know your history, how are you going to know where you're going? And so I think that a lot, what I try and push on my platform is just getting educated about what's going on and seeking out that education beyond what anything is telling you, beyond what CNN's telling you, beyond what the Washington Post or Time or whatever other like major media platform, beyond the media, reach out and actually educate yourself on exactly the history of everything, just not American history, but Black history and all this other stuff. I personally love watching documentaries to understand, to further understand what's going on. So I've been watching a lot of documentaries about like Malcolm X and a lot of Black figures that were pushing for justice because that's where you'll find the future is the past. And
Yeah.
so, and I've also, which a lot of people will probably call me crazy, but I've also been researching Old English history because in order for us to understand um, the oppression, we have to understand the oppressor as
Correct.
well.
I
And
like that.
so we have, right. So we have to look at their history as well and what they do to their own people. And if you look at Old English history, they were as brutal with their own people as they
Exactly.
are with, um, you know, slaves
Yeah.
and Black Americans and Mexican Americans and Native Americans and all that other stuff. So you really have to just really dwell deep into educating yourself in order to kind of learn what's going on. And there's just so many layers to everything because so many things are going on. You see the social justice side. We're going through a pandemic where we're possibly shutting down altogether again. And then you hear about this pedophilia ring going on. And then you hear about all these other things like Palestine getting taken off the
The
map. And you
maps.
hear,
That's
right.
crazy.
And then you hear about the bubonic plague coming back, the Black Death coming back, killer hornets, all this other stuff. So it's very, very easy to get distracted from exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
But you kind of have to stay
Especially,
like,
yeah, especially with everything that our leaders at the White House are, always doing or saying. Just it's very challenging. Yeah.
yeah, let's not even
Yeah.
delve into that because
No,
that
but
is just
yeah, but one key thing that you said, and one thing that I was struggling with a lot is having an opinion or having a voice throughout this whole Black Lives Matter.
right,
And one of the things I did start doing was educating myself, like you said,
right.
because yeah, back in school, I don't remember much of what I learned in school, to be honest. But
Right.
being an immigrant and moving out here, and I never really, I don't know if I can say it, but I never saw color. Like
Right.
I have a lot of friends, and I treat everybody as equal. And during all this protest happening, I did feel a little helpless. I was
Right.
like, I was like, am I supposed to say something? What am I supposed to
Right.
do?
Right.
Will I say the wrong thing? But yeah, I mean, it was just about educating myself, and it's hard, dude. I mean,
It is.
just seeing
It is.
what people went through, or seeing what the news media were putting out there with officers actually being like physical with people, like it really infuriated me. It was
Yeah.
I was pretty frustrated with that. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I personally am afraid to even get pulled over by the wrong officer.
No, seriously. And that's the thing. That's the thing that's very, very scary. Is that it just I saw something on Instagram where it's just like, what are you supposed to do when you're afraid of the person that's supposed to come and save you?
Protect it.
Like
Yeah.
you don't even want to call the police when something is going on. One of my one of another influential person in my life, because I've been reading her book and getting more insight on, myself and like other like struggles that Black women go through. Elaine Welteroth, she was the first Black editor of Teen Vogue. She encountered a um he was a mentally unstable person. She lives in New York, so she lives in Brooklyn, and she was sitting there with her friend on their stoop, and he came up and started doing lewd gestures with another Black male. And so she kind of came to a crossroads where she felt threatened by this person, but she also didn't want to call the police on this person because she might ultimately get this person killed
Killed.
by the police because he
Wow.
was a Black man. And so she was at this crossroads where she didn't want to call the police, but she also felt threatened and her life was in danger too. So, like, what do you do at that point? Long story short, she ended up having to call the police because they wouldn't leave. But at the same time, it's just like, what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
And it's not even just the police, it's a problem with our healthcare and how Black women die at alarming rates giving birth
I read that.
to,
Yeah.
right, giving birth to our offspring and everything like that. And it's just crazy how systematically every every minority is so oppressed. And I think that the media has like a lot to do with exactly like what's going on, like the propaganda and everything. But we see in history that that's what the media was set up to do, was to push propaganda. So if everything is controlled by this oppressor, what are they going to do? They're going to push propaganda in order to keep it that way.
Yeah.
And so it's just like I understand how you could feel helpless because I myself honestly feel helpless because it's just like, what are we going to do? Yes, all of this is coming to light, but how exactly is it going to change?
Correct.
Because we've been fighting for literally centuries for this. And if
Yeah.
we want to take it even closer, decades, but nothing really has changed. They put Black Lives Matter murals on the street, but yet and still, Black people are still getting killed by the police. We
Yeah.
still see videos of Black people getting killed by the police. Breonna Taylor's killers still aren't in jail.
Exactly. Yeah. And the
And
other thing is like she was asleep, dude. Like you went into the wrong house and you have to admit
and,
you made a mistake and you have to take
and
a
she worked as a first responder. She was an EMT.
yeah.
So it's just like crazy how they're still just out living life, and it's just nuts. So yeah, I can see how you feel helpless because it's it's
It was very hard. It
it's
was very hard watching
it's
everything
hard,
that was happening, and for a minute, like yeah, I wasn't posting anything. I wasn't saying anything, and I just felt like, well, will people that know me think that I'm just like staying quiet, or
right?
my and I was just afraid of what people were thinking, but
Right,
I was just like, no, like everybody's going through this,
right.
something crazy, dude. But tell me, where does the future, what does the future have prepared for you now? Where do you see yourself?
Ooh. Um. Well, manifesting all these things, right? Manifestation. I see myself gaining a stable YouTube following and starting to work with brands and branching out with brands in order to receive some revenue into my pockets and everything. Hopefully, if everything goes well with what's going on outside, we'll be able to return to work and all that other stuff. So I'm getting some of that revenue as well. But if I'm definitely my goal during this whole pandemic is to really, really push my brand in order to try to work for myself once we get out of this pandemic, because if you can work for yourself, you don't have to be you don't have to worry about getting laid off by anybody, you know?
True.
So I'm really pushing to, build my brand, build my platform, and, get that up and going because
Nice.
I'm ready. I'm ready. But I'm just really working on myself throughout this time, through everything, and hopefully future me is gonna look back and be like, oh, okay, you did that. You did
Well,
that work, girl.
you can definitely do it, dude. I mean, like I said, you have the charisma, you have the energy. You just,
Yeah,
like you said, you have to be consistent, and
thanks,
it'll
Juan.
get there. Yeah, and you're manifesting what's gonna happen. So
Mana
yeah,
manifesting. Yes,
you're
I
gonna.
I look forward to another year here in LA. Hopefully, we're not shut down too much longer because I'm ready to get out and explore
Well, what can
some
you tell?
things.
What can you tell or share with someone who wants to start a YouTube channel or wants to start with an influencer career?
Oh, okay. So I would say the the most important thing is to start with whatever you have, because I know for me and a lot of people, because I've heard this from many people, is that, oh, I need to have a camera. Oh, I need to have this new laptop. Oh, I need to do this. Oh, I need to do that. Literally start out with your smartphone, because I know everyone has a smartphone. So start out with your smartphone. Start out with iMovie. Start out with whatever video editor you have. There's apps and everything for editing videos. You can start out with that and literally just film whatever you like. Whatever you like doing, just film it. Just make a note in your head to film you doing something that you enjoy and put it out. And the thing number one thing is to definitely be yourself, because if you try and mimic somebody else, it's not going to work, because they'll be like, people can tell fake right off the bat. So people are going to be like, oh, she's trying to be like Jackie Ina. Oh, she's trying to be like such and such. Oh, she's trying to be like this person. You have to literally go out there, be yourself, let yourself shine, because a lot of people want to see all this authenticity.
Yeah.
Authenticity.
That is a struggle too, because I
Yes.
myself went through that, the whole
Yeah.
imposter stage of like
Right.
I'm watching and listening to all these podcasters, and it's like, oh,
Right.
that's what I'm gonna do. And it's just like you said,
Yeah.
I was trying to mimic that, and it just wasn't coming off.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, natural.
Right, because you look at these people and you're like, oh, they're successful. Let me mimic what they're doing because it's working for them. But what's working for them may not work for you. So it's just like, just be yourself. Just be yourself.
Amazing, Ms. Rachel. Thank you for your time.
Yes.
And before we leave, tell us, where can people find you?
So, so my favorite part, right? So you can find me on Instagram at _ Rachel Angelica with 2 A's at the end. And you can also find me on my YouTube channel, which is Rachel Angelica, just plain Rachel Angelica. So you can find me there. Go on ahead, follow, like, and subscribe, if my content is relevant to you, because if it's not, then just watch a video or two, whatever.
Amazing, Ms. Rachel. Anything else you want to share with the public?
No, I think y'all learned just
All
enough.
right. We'll leave a little more for the next time.
Correct, correct. Maybe I'll come back on here with my updates on what's going on.
Yeah.
Hopefully I hit big and I can be like, yeah, Juan, after your podcast.
Hopefully I can be there when you hit that 1 million subscriber mark.
Oh yes. We'll have to do an update on that too.
Oh yeah, nice. Well, appreciate it, Ms. Rachel. Thank you very much.
No problem, Juan.
Hope to see you soon. Bye.
Bye.